Welcome to this explainer. Have you ever actually stopped to think about the sheer force behind the things you say every single day? Today, we're going to unpack a pretty profound biblical concept from our source material. We'll be looking at how a single sentence has the incredible power to either glorify God and heal a heart, or literally completely destroy a life. We use our words so casually, don't we? But as we're going to see, they are actually shaping our reality. So, let's dive right in.
What destroys a life more? We often think our lives are ruined by the difficult environments we're placed in, right? By the bad luck we encounter, or the random tragedies that strike. But our source text points to Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 12, which reveals a hidden destroyer. It points out that the words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but the lips of a fool shall swallow him up. It's a massive paradigm shift. Your life isn't necessarily ruined by what happens to you, but it can absolutely be swallowed up by the foolish words that come out of you.
Section 1. The heart-mouth connection, where words originate. To really grasp this, we need to look at a foundational principle of where our words actually come from. Jesus says in Matthew 12:34, "For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks." Our words don't just appear out of thin air. Think of them as the overflow valve of our inner lives. A person who genuinely fears and respects God is naturally going to speak words of grace simply because that's what their heart is full of. On the flip side, someone far from God, regardless of how incredibly smart or educated they might be, will constantly overflow with bitterness, complaining, and toxicity. You really can't fake it forever. Eventually, whatever is crowding your heart is absolutely going to spill out of your mouth.
Section 2. The ultimate stress test. Job's trial.
Let's look at the ultimate stress test of this principle by examining a famous historical figure, Job. The source text points out that wise people aren't somehow magically exempt from suffering. Wisdom doesn't give you a free pass from pain. In one single, horrifying day, Job lost his entire livelihood and wealth. Even worse, he lost all of his children simultaneously. And eventually, he lost his health, with his body covered from head to toe in agonizing sores. It presents a level of grief and physical pain that is honestly hard for most of us to even begin to imagine. I really want us to slow down for a second to appreciate the gravity here. When the absolute worst possible news just kept coming, wave after wave, Job didn't curse God. He didn't blame everyone around him or just drown in self-pity. Instead, he fell to the ground in worship and said, "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." What incredible power in those words. Job wasn't praising God because he was numb to the pain. He praised God because he truly knew him. It proves that true faith isn't just singing happily when the sea is calm. It's praising God even when the storm is tearing your ship apart. So the crucial point is captured perfectly in Job 1:22. The text says, "In all this, Job did not sin, nor charge God with wrong." His mouth didn't sin. Why? Because his heart was completely filled with the fear and reverence of God. Our circumstances don't create our character. They merely reveal what we truly believe deep down. Job's unimaginable circumstances really just acted as a magnifying glass, showing the world the unshakable faith that was already living inside his heart.
Section 3. The tragic alternative. A different voice.
But what happens when faith is lost in the deep darkness of tragedy? We see a stark, honestly heartbreaking contrast in Job's wife. We have to remember she went through the exact same horrific tragedy. She lost the exact same property, the exact same children, and her heart was completely shattered. But her response? Entirely different. She looked at her suffering husband and said, "Curse God and die." Her words were rooted in pure, unadulterated despair. The suffering caused her to lose her trust in God, and so she spoke the most hurtful words possible. Job empathically, yet firmly, had to point out to her that she was speaking like a foolish woman, reminding her that we must accept both the good and the bad from God's hand.
And this brings us to a massively important takeaway. Pressure exposes our true spiritual reality. The environment didn't change Job or his wife. It simply exposed them. Think about a sponge. Whatever liquid you soak a sponge in is exactly what's going to come out when you squeeze it. When intense pressure hits you, maybe a crisis at work, a financial disaster, or severe tension at home, the words that slip out of your mouth expose your true spiritual condition to the world. Whether those words are, "God is still in control," or "there is absolutely no hope," your mouth is telling on your heart.
Section 4. The ripple effect. Power in daily life.
Let's face it, our everyday words carry immense weight. The scriptures constantly warn us to guard our tongues, giving us a powerful metaphor in Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. It frames our words as seeds. Every single time you speak, you are planting a seed. And eventually, those seeds will bear fruit, either the sweet fruit of life or the bitter fruit of death. And you yourself are the one who's going to have to sit down and eat it.
And this plays out in highly practical ways. The real-world impact of our words is staggering. A single sentence of encouragement can literally heal a broken heart, while one sarcastic, cutting remark can hurt someone for a lifetime. Your words can build up your family or completely destroy a relationship. One complaint can plunge your entire living room into darkness, while a word of praise can bring hope to everyone around you. As the text emphasizes, pulling from James chapter 3, mastering our words is the true mark of maturity. If you can control your tongue, you can guide your entire life.
Section 5. The Call to Grace. Choosing our words. So how do we actually apply this wisdom when everyone around us is complaining or spreading despair? The Apostle Paul gives us a brilliant filter for our speech in Ephesians 4:29. Let no corrupt word proceed out of your mouth, but what is good for necessary edification, that it may impart grace to the hearers. God doesn't just care about what we say. He cares deeply about the effect of what we say. He cares if our words are actively building up others, bringing them benefit, and bringing Him glory. The text really challenges us to ask ourselves before we speak, is this going to impart grace to the person listening, or is it just corrupt noise?
This is such an empowering realization. We cannot control our circumstances, but we absolutely can control our response. You might not be able to control the annoying traffic, the difficult boss, or the unexpected bad news that hits you today, but you have total control over the words you choose to respond with. You can decide to be like Job. You can choose to speak words of gratitude, hope, and grace precisely at the moment when the whole world expects you to be bitter.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a beautiful prayer from Psalm 19:14 to ponder today. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Notice how it connects the mouth and the heart one last time? So here is my question for you. Are the words you're about to speak today going to be a foolish tool for your own destruction, or will they be a wise vessel of grace that builds up the world around you? The choice is entirely up to you. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.